Good morning this Wednesday, the 15th of March. I'm Grady Wolf, a market analyst with Bell Direct. The local index dipped 1.41% yesterday amid the fallout from the SVB and Signature bank collapses in the US, sending shockwaves throughout global markets. Investors fear the collapses are a sign of what's to come in the financial sector, which has caused a sell-off in financial stocks and sparked investors to pile into safe haven assets like gold. The winning stocks yesterday on the ASX were unsurprisingly led by gold miners, including Ramelius Resources adding 5.8%, Perseus Mining jumping 4.43%, and Silver Lake Resources adding 3.77%. On the losing end of the market, the stocks that weighed the key index down yesterday were led by Lake Resources tumbling 8.5%, Novonix falling 8.46%, and BrainChip losing 8%. Investors repositioned out of technology stocks and into defensive stocks yesterday, which can be taken as a sign of fears around what's to come as interest rates continue rising and the cost of funding growth for companies in the tech sector becomes increasingly unaffordable. Investors are also fearful that the collapse of the banks will not play part in the Fed's interest rate decision next week in the US, with many anticipating a 25 basis point rate hike to be announced, while some analysts are even expecting a 50 basis point rate hike to be announced. Consumer and business confidence data for March and February respectively in Australia were released yesterday, with confidence sliding for both consumers and businesses in the respective months as interest rates continue rising and placing increased pressure on consumers and businesses alike. Regulators find themselves in a difficult position in the US at the moment. They need to raise interest rates to curb inflation. However, raising interest rates exacerbates the issue facing US banks. US annual inflation data was released overnight for the month of February and came in at 6%, the lowest level since September 2021 and down from 6.4% in January, in a sign the Federal Reserve's aggressive rate hike stance is finally taking effect. Wall Street responded positively to the data, with the market breaking the recent red run to close in the green across the board. The Dow Jones rose 1.06%, the S&P 500 added 1.68%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq rose 2.14%. Over in Europe, markets also closed higher in response to the release of US inflation data. Investors in the region also bought back into the banking sector following days of selling out in response to the banking collapses in the US. Germany's DAX rose 1.83%, the French CAC added 1.86%, and in the UK, the FTSE 100 rose 1.17%. On the commodities front this morning, oil is trading 3.11% lower at $72.48 a barrel. Gold is down 0.33% at $1,907 an ounce, and iron ore is up almost 2% at $133 a tonne. The Australian dollar is buying 67 US cents, 89.58 Japanese yen, 54.84 British pence, and 1 New Zealand dollar and 7 cents. Ahead of the local trading session here in Australia, the SPI futures are anticipating the ASX to open almost 1% higher on the back of that global rally overnight. And now let's dive into some trading ideas for your consideration today. Bell Potter has increased the rating on Neuren from a hold to a speculative buy and has sharply increased the price target from $8.60 to $13.67 following the US FDA approving Neuren's US partner Arcadia Pharmaceuticals drug trofinetide for the treatment of Rett syndrome in adult and pediatrics 2 years of age and older. And Bell Potter has maintained its hold rating on Infomedia but has increased its price target from $1.35 to $1.45 amid improving outlook for the leading software solutions provider in the automotive industry. The increase in price target is driven by an expected return to double-digit cash EBITDA growth in FY24 and FY25, as well as cost control and margin expansion, improving the company's financial performance. And that's all we have time for today. I'm Grady Wolf with Bell Direct. Have a wonderful Wednesday and happy investing.